You got the raise, you celebrated, you told yourself things were finally moving. But tonight, staring at your bank account, you realize something uncomfortable. Your income went up and your life got bigger, but your actual wealth hasn't moved in 4 years. That's not a coincidence, that's a system, and tonight you're going to understand exactly how it works. It's a Tuesday in March. You're sitting at your kitchen table in an apartment that costs $400 more per month than the last one. The couch is better, the neighborhood is quieter, the kitchen has an island. You earned this. Your salary is $92,000. 2 years ago it was 74. Before that, 61. Every time the number went up, you felt it, the relief, the momentum, the sense that you were finally pulling ahead. But here's what you didn't feel. Your net worth 3 years ago was around $18,000. Savings, a small brokerage account, some cash sitting in a checking account. Not impressive, but it was something. Tonight, your net worth is $19,400. You've earned roughly $215,000 in the last 3 years, and you have $1,400 more to show for it. You sit with that number for a moment. $1,400. You made $215,000 and kept $1,400. That's less than 1%. You're not broke, you're not irresponsible. You don't gamble, you don't have a drug habit. You work hard, you got promoted. And yet, the gap between what you earn and what you own is so wide it almost doesn't make sense. Almost. There's a concept economists call the hedonic treadmill. The basic idea is that human beings have an extraordinary ability to adapt to any income level, any lifestyle, any standard of living, and return to roughly the same level of satisfaction they started with. More money doesn't make you feel rich. It just resets what feels normal. You lived this when you made $61,000, a vacation felt like a luxury. At 74, you took one every year. At 92, you upgraded to nicer hotels, longer trips, better seats on the plane. Each time you told yourself this was what the raise was for. Each time it felt completely rational. And it was rational for your comfort. It was a disaster for your wealth. Because the raise didn't just pay for the vacation. It paid for the new apartment, the car payment that finally felt manageable, the gym membership at the nicer place, the dinners out that stopped feeling indulgent, the streaming services that piled up quietly every month, the coffee you now drink from the cafe downstairs instead of the machine in the break room. None of these things were reckless. Each one made sense on its own. Together, they consumed every dollar of every raise you ever got, and then some. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it is the single most effective wealth killer most people will never talk about because it feels like success. Here's where it gets stranger. You actually think about money. You're not the person who avoids their bank statements. You've read articles. You know what compound interest is. You've opened a Roth IRA, although the balance is embarrassingly small. You've listened to podcasts while driving. You consider yourself financially aware. And still, $1,400 in 3 years. So the question isn't knowledge. You know what you're supposed to do. The question is why knowing doesn't translate into doing, and why the gap between your income and your net worth keeps growing even as your income goes up. The answer is sitting inside a number you've probably never paid close attention to, your savings rate, not how much you make, not how much you spend, the percentage of your income you actually keep. Studies on generational wealth consistently find that the single most predictive variable for long-term net worth isn't income level, it's savings rate. A household earning $60,000 with a 22% savings rate will, over 20 years, build more wealth than a household earning $110,000 with a 4% savings rate. Every time. The math doesn't care about the salary. It only cares about what's left. Your savings rate over the last 3 years was roughly 0.6%. Now here's the thing that makes this worse. You're not unusual. You're exactly what the economy expected you to be. Think about the structure of the system you're inside. Every time your income went up, someone was waiting. Your landlord raised the rent when your lease renewed because the market supported it and because you could afford it. The car dealership showed you a vehicle in your new range. The credit card company raised your limit. The travel site surfaced premium options first. The gym near the better apartment cost more. Nobody forced you, but every single upgrade was prepared in advance, waiting for your raise to arrive. The entire consumer economy is built on one assumption, that when you earn more, you will spend more. And that assumption has been correct about you for 8 consecutive years. There's a name for this dynamic. Economists call it consumption smoothing. Marketers call it aspirational spending. Behavioral psychologists call it social comparison. You call it living your life, but whatever you call it, the outcome is identical. Income rises, expenses rise to meet it, and wealth stays flat. Pause for a second, because there's something worth sitting with here. You haven't been failing, you've been succeeding at the wrong game. There are two separate games being played with your money. The first game is income, your salary, your raises, your promotions. In this game, the goal is to earn more. You are very good at this game. You've played it well. You've increased your income by more than 50% over 8 years. The second game is wealth, your assets, your investments, your net worth. In this game, the goal is to keep more and to put what you keep to work. You have barely started playing this game. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The first game without the second game produces nothing. Literally nothing. Just a bigger lifestyle and the same thin margin underneath it. The people who build real wealth, not the ones who look wealthy, not the ones with the nice apartment and the good job and the expensive coffee, the ones who actually accumulate assets that grow while they sleep, they play both games at the same time. And more importantly, they refuse to let winning the first game expand the cost of the second. There's a family worth thinking about right now. You don't know them. They live in a suburb of Columbus, Ohio. The husband is a high school history teacher. The wife manages the front desk at a dental office. Together, they make $87,000 a year. They drive a 2017 Honda Accord and a 2019 Toyota RAV4. They take one vacation annually, a road trip, usually. They live in a house they bought 11 years ago for $218,000. Their net worth tonight is $640,000. They didn't inherit anything. They didn't start a business. They didn't pick the right stocks. They save between 18 and 23% of their income every single year for 11 years and put almost all of it into index funds. That's it. That's the whole story. Now compare them to someone else, a marketing director in Chicago, $146,000 a year, beautiful condo in River North, designer furniture, 2 international trips annually, eats out 4 or 5 nights a week, drives a leased BMW, savings rate 3%, net worth at 41 years old, $31,000 and a 401k with $22,000 in it. Same economy, very different outcomes, and the difference has almost nothing to do with how much they earn. Here's the part nobody tells you when you get promoted. The raise isn't actually the opportunity. The raise is just a test. It tests whether you'll expand your life to match the new number, or whether you'll hold your lifestyle flat and deploy the difference somewhere that compounds. Almost everyone expands. It's what feels natural. It's what the people around you do. It's what the algorithms on your phone expect you to do. But the people who build wealth, the ones who retire early, or who stop worrying about money in their 40s, they treat every raise the same way. They live on what they lived on before or close to it, and they redirect the delta every single time. There's a specific calculation worth knowing. If you had taken just 30% of every raise you received over the last 8 years and invested it in a basic S&P 500 index fund, your net worth today would be somewhere between $64,000 and $71,000. Not a fortune, but it's not $1,400 either. It's a real foundation. The other 70%, you would have still spent it. You would have still upgraded parts of your life. You just would have done it slower on purpose with something to show for it. This is the moment the story usually ends with a 5-step plan. Automate your savings. Increase your 401k contribution by 1%. Cut the subscriptions. Make your money work for you. But you already know all of that. You've read the list. The list isn't the problem. The problem is psychological, and it has a name. It's called present bias. Human beings systematically overvalue what's in front of us right now compared to what's available in the future. The new apartment feels real. Retirement at 60 feels abstract. The dinner out tonight feels like a reward you've earned. The index fund contribution feels like a sacrifice. Your brain isn't broken. It's doing exactly what brains evolved to do, prioritize the immediate. The modern financial world is simply not the environment our brains were built for. 100,000 years ago, saving resources for 30 years in the future was insane. There was no 30 years. Now there is, and we're still running ancient software. Which means the solution isn't discipline. Willpower is a depleting resource, and every financial advice article that treats it otherwise is setting you up to fail. The solution is structure. Systems that remove the decision from the present moment entirely. Automatic transfers. Retirement contributions that come out before you see the money. Investment accounts that feel slightly inaccessible, not because you can't be trusted, but because your brain wasn't built for this particular game. Tonight, sitting at that kitchen table, something shifts. Not in your account balance. That won't change tonight. But in the way you understand what's been happening. You've been measuring your financial progress in the wrong unit. You've been measuring income, salary bumps, promotions, hourly rates. And income is real, it matters, it opens doors, it creates the raw material. but income isn't wealth. Income is the shovel. Wealth is the hole you dig with it. You've been carrying a bigger and bigger shovel and digging almost nothing. There's one more thing worth sitting with before tonight ends. The families who build real wealth rarely feel rich while they're building it. They drive the older car. They skip the upgrade. They watch other people take nicer vacations and live in nicer places, and sometimes, more than sometimes, they question whether they're doing it right, whether the sacrifice is worth it. And then somewhere in their early 50s, or late 40s if they were disciplined early, the math reaches escape velocity. The compound returns on their investments begin to exceed what they earn from working. Their wealth starts building itself. And the people who looked more successful, the higher salaries, the nicer apartments, the visible lifestyle, many of them are still one layoff away from a crisis. Wealth is quiet. Wealth doesn't look like anything from the outside. That's the thing nobody tells you, and it's the thing that makes it so easy to spend the money instead of keeping it, because keeping it feels invisible. But invisible isn't the same as nothing. You're going to get another raise someday, maybe next year, maybe sooner, and when you do, you're going to feel that familiar pull, the apartment that's a little closer to downtown, the car that finally feels right, the small upgrade that you've earned. And maybe some of it you'll take, maybe some of it is genuinely worth it. But some small part of you, the part that sat at this kitchen table tonight and did the math, will remember that the raise is a test, and what you do with the delta is the answer. The question is who you decide to become the morning after the raise comes in. That's not a financial question, not really. It's a question about what you actually want your life to add up to and whether the number on your paycheck or the number on your net worth statement is the one you're going to take seriously. You already know what you've been choosing. The only thing left is what you choose next.